Hello everyone, welcome back to the Menu from Our Kitchen with Stein Hospice. Today is Pearl Harbor Day, December 7th, a date which will live in infamy. And in honor of that, we are making this beautiful patriotic dish today, and we're going to have a little fun, and we're going to spend some time talking about our Veterans Program as well. But before we do that, let's dive right in. You're going to need a few supplies. You're going to need Rice Krispie treats. You can either do homemade or packaged. We'll talk about that a little more in a second. You're going to need a star-shaped cookie cutter, strawberries, blueberries, and some ribbon, if you so choose, skewers, and if you're like me and you're doing prepackaged Rice Krispie treats, you're going to need a gallon-size Ziploc bag as well, some scissors. Okay, once you've got all your supplies, I am going to dive right in and give you my Rice Krispie treat hack. So, you definitely can home make your Rice Krispie treats with Rice Krispie cereal and mini marshmallows, but I took the easy way out and I bought prepackaged Rice Krispie treats just to save time, which I'm sure a lot of you can appreciate. So I'm going to give you my little hack there, and this all depends on the size of your star-shaped cookie cutter, but my cookie cutter was too big for just one Rice Krispie treat, so I learned something. If you take your individually wrapped Rice Krispie treats, open them up. They're made to stick together, right? You can actually, okay, so I have two here. You can actually simply just squeeze them, put a little pressure on there. One Rice Krispie treat. So for mine in particular, two still wasn't enough, so I added a third to the other end. Again, just a little pressure, one big Rice Krispie treat. And I just kind of mushed mine together a little bit more to get rid of those lines. And no one is none the wiser. So, once you have your Rice Krispie treats, homemade or prepackaged, then you take your star cookie cutter and cut out your shapes. This is where I guess you can use this Ziploc bag if you're using the homemade or the prepackaged, but because you're probably going to have excess no matter how you decide to do it. And I love Rice Krispie treats, so that excess seemed like such a waste to get rid of to me. So my gallon Ziploc bag is for my leftovers, and that will be my snack on my own time later on. So then I just saved this in the Ziploc bag. Now, you might be thinking, instead of wasting all of this, why don't you mush it all together, roll it out? I tried that too, and it does work. It absolutely does work, but the Rice Krispie gets a lot more mushed together. So you have this one that I rolled, and this one that is non-rolled, so you can see the difference there. Okay, so either one is fine. It just depends on what you want to go for. This looks obviously more like a Rice Krispie treat. This kind of looks more like a cookie. Still tastes like a Rice Krispie treat though. So either one will work. It's whichever you prefer. Once you have your Rice Krispie treats together, you also just want to make sure that you wash and clean your fruits. I just have what I need right here to just make one extra. I just cut the top off of my clean strawberry. Left everything else as is. You take your skewer, your strawberry actually goes on first so that the actual top of the strawberry goes towards the bottom, becomes your base. It's a little off center. Okay, and then you just add your blueberries. You can do as many as you want. I'm doing 3. I just felt that looked proportional for my vase here and spacing wise for the basket that I chose. But depending on what you're using, you might need to do more, you might need to do less. Then you take your Rice Krispie treat and you just add it right in. Easy peasy. So then, mine would fit right here in this vase. You take your whatever decor you choose. I chose these 3 colored ribbons, red, white, and blue. But you could choose a flag ribbon, you could do white lace, you could do, anything, whatever you like best. And then I just made these a little extra long and tied them around my skewer. And voila! Just add some festivity to it. There you have it. Finished product. And with that being said, I want to now take a minute and just tell you a little bit about our Veterans Program and how you might be able to help support our Veterans Program and our veteran patients. Stein Hospice takes our Veteran Program very seriously. Our staff is educated and trained into how to properly care for veterans and their unique needs at end of life. And we have a variety of ways in which we like to honor our veteran patients. And I have a few supplies here today that I want to share with you and kind of give you an idea of what that looks like a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of our lovely photo here and show you what I have here. So anytime a veteran patient is admitted onto our services, they are honored with these supplies that I have here. And one of which is a certificate. And it has their branch of service, as well as their name. A blanket with the patch of service, and we have all of the branches here. And here's just an example for you. Here's the United States Marines. But each blanket has a different branch patch, so they get the appropriate one. And they also receive a hospice veteran pin, and that reads, "We pay special tribute to you for your military service to America by advancing the universal hope of freedom and liberty for all. On behalf of the staff and volunteers of Stein Hospice, we thank you for your service." When these are presented to our veterans, it's really a special moment, and it allows our veterans to feel like a door has opened, and it allows them to oftentimes encourages them to talk about experiences that they might not have talked about before. And families have heard stories that they've never heard before when we've presented these things and honored our veterans. And it's just really a touching moment, not only for us, but for families. And we're just really proud and honored to be a part of it. But these supplies obviously have a cost. And that's where you can come in today and text to give. And here's a little outline of what that looks like. So, with a $15 donation, that provides the supplies that I just mentioned and showed you to honor one veteran patient. A $75 donation would honor 5 veteran patients. A $300 donation would provide these supplies to honor 20 veteran patients. And a $1,500 donation would provide the supplies to honor 100 of our veteran patients. If you were wondering about what it would cost to honor all of our veteran patients for an entire year, that is a $6,300 donation that you can make today and make sure that all of our veterans for an entire year are able to receive these supplies and these special honors when admitted into our services. If you're wondering how to do that, there's a white banner up at the top of your screen there that says text WHV with your donation amount to 251-313-0323. There's an example there that says WHV $50. If you text that 3-digit code and your donation amount to that phone number there, you will then get a link sent back to you that you can check out on, and your donation will directly benefit a Stein Hospice veteran. Before we close out for today, I'd just like to ask you all to join me in a moment of silence for all of those lives lost on December 7th, 1941. Thank you, and thank you for joining us today on Menu for More, and we'll see you next week.